a special guest, close friend and acclaimed horror writer Vince Daemon. He's going to help me through one of my favorite autumn recipes. We're going to do a baked and mashed butternut squash and a few others. So enjoy and oi oi. So in the autumn season, we're going to go with one of my favorite things in the world to eat, butternut squash. It's very reminiscent of pumpkin, and we're going to use what would more or less be pumpkin pie spices on it. So to start, I've cubed up the squash already. I've got a nice 9x13 baking pan. We're going to pop this in and just kind of spread it around the bottom. We're going to put a little bit of, I'm putting white truffle oil in it, a regular olive oil, just anything to kind of keep it moist and wet.
It's always important to keep it moist and wet.
Yes, it is. And Vince is going to hit it up with some of the spices. We've got ground nutmeg, Jamaican allspice, and cinnamon. You just want a nice coating over everything.
Like so. Just
a few shakes on everything. And I'm also going to take a pinch, a little bit of sugar. We're just going to spread that around a little bit.
Tricky.
Very tricky.
Tricky indeed.
Also to this we're going to add, I'm going to take 4 slices of ginger. Usually I would zest these or chop them up. We're just going to throw these into the pan because this is all going to get mixed up in the end. We're going to spread those around. I'm going to take a little bit of sliced onion, a little bit of garlic, and I'm going to give Vince the walnuts and see just how walnutty he'd like to get it. A little bit here and there will bring a nice flavor. A whole bunch will just kind of really give you a nice nutty flavor that's going to go wonderful with the squash. So he's going to pop some in. And this is already coming along very nice. It's going to be wonderful, I can promise you. You can already smell all the flavors coming together.
I like it nutty.
And the last thing we're going to do is add just a quick coat of honey. Now we've got an oven that's already preheated to about 400 degrees. We're going to pop this in. We'll see you in just a sec. Alright, so we've had our butternut squash in the oven for about 15 minutes. And you can tell if you pick it up, it's nice and soft and incredibly hot. And how's it smell?
It's absolutely amazing. It smells really good.
Now the next step we're going to go for is if you have a food processor, maybe an easier and better way around it. If not, good old blender is the way to go. We're going to take all of this. Alright, so now we've gone and filled up our blender. We're going to put the top back on it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of pulse it a little bit. And one thing you may have to do if you're using a blender like me is occasionally stop it and give it a quick stir just to make sure everything's going to get mixed up evenly.
That can be a big problem, as you can see.
And at this point, it's also going to come down to just how smooth you want it. If you want to go for a straight mashed potato consistency, it's going to take you a little bit of time. For me, sometimes I like it a little chunky, so you can let go a little bit.
I think we can all say that.
But what we end up with is a few chunks, and otherwise a nice creamy consistency. It's going to taste great. Now while we're here, and since it's Halloween, I want Vince to tell you a little bit about his writing.
Oh, well, thank you, Eddie. It's my chance to plug, I guess. I'm a horror writer, not scared of horror, very strange stuff. My novella, Waiting for the End, can be found at waitingforend.blogspot.com. I'm also in the anthologies Heavy Metal Horror, Through the Eyes of the Undead, several different magazines, an anarchist magazine out of Philly I write for once in a while. It's all over the place. I can be found at evilthing69@yahoo.com or on Facebook under Vincent Daemon. Also, I would like to thank Sean Loughton from the Freezine of Fantasy and Science Fiction, which can be found at freezine@fantasyandsciencefiction.blogspot.com, which is filled with incredible writers like John Claude Smith, Adam Bolivar, David Agranoff, and several other people, as well as Sean and Chester Loughton's amazing artwork, which they did for my novella. And I don't know, that's about all I have to say.
Well, then, Vince, since you helped make it, some of our baked mashed butternut squash.
That smells fantastic.
Thank you.
Manje. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
Take it easy. It's an easy one to make, and it's great during the fall, especially while the squash is fresh.
I'd like to thank Eddie for having me on the Skinhead Gourmet. This is quite an honor.
Thank you much, and thank you guys for watching.
Read my books. They'll change your life.
And keep watching the show. Oi!
Oi!